My name is Kennedy, and today's video we will be reading Animal Farm in 12 hours.
What's going on?
I have somehow never read Animal Farm. It is something that I always wanted to get to. I seen that it was on Kindle, and today in Michigan it is a very chilly, rainy day, so I thought it would be a great day to give it a try. I'm pretty sure it has way less than 200 pages, maybe even less than 100. I see a lot of different things, and I know Kindle's pages are different, so I know I should be able to read it in the day. It seems like a very fast read, and I have nothing to do today, so come with me and let's read Animal Farm. I'm going into this book very blind. All I know is that there's animals on a farm or slaughterhouse, and they kind of turn political and go against the humans, but that's all I know. There will be spoilers because I want to discuss everything that I've read. So if you haven't read Animal Farm, then read with me right now. It is currently 12 p.m., so let's get into the book. It is now 1 p.m., so it has been 1 hour, and I just hit chapter 4. This has been a really fun, interesting read so far. I didn't know it was made in 1945, so that was very interesting, and the author, George Orwell, was a sort of writer in the war. Loving the animals' speeches and how they're all working really hard, all of their different personalities. I'm really loving a lot of the parallels between the new Animal Farm and the Bible. They have meetings every Sunday and they don't work on Sundays. I thought that was very interesting. The raven, who is named Moses, also talked about a sort of heaven that the animals go to when they die. Of course, have the 7 commandments, which is really cool. Also, a big theme is obviously government and democracy. The animals vote. The pigs are the smartest ones, which I really love too, because a lot of people think that pigs are really dumb when they are one of the smartest animals. So I like how they keep mentioning it, and the pigs are ruling everything and becoming teachers to the other animals. Right now, where I'm at in the book, things have been going very smoothly so far. All the animals are happy. Some things have disappeared, like the milk, and it has found out that it was the pigs. And right now, things are turning a little bit to where the pigs are being more of a dictatorship. I have a feeling that some of the lower animals might have to rebel against their own, which is a thing from their commandments that shouldn't have to happen because the animals should never go against each other. I'm really enjoying this and just going to keep reading on, and I'll check in again later. It is now 1:50, so I've been reading for about 50 minutes, and I have reached chapter 7. Things turned bad pretty quickly, like I predicted. Napoleon and Snowball basically formed 2 different parties, and Napoleon kicked out Snowball and became a dictator. They were breaking almost every rule and changing things to benefit the pigs only. They'll say things like, "We would love for you to be able to vote and make your own decisions, but what if you made the wrong decisions?" They also, because most of the animals can't really read, have started changing the 7 commandments. One of the commandments is that they can never sleep in a bed. Now the pigs have taken to the farmhouse and sleep in the bed, and they added with sheets on the end. So the animals say, "Oh, it does say with sheets, so I guess that's okay." And the pigs instead just sleep in between 2 comfortable blankets, but no sheets. They have started trading and gaining money from the humans, which is also a big no-no from their original rules. They're calling Napoleon a leader, and sadly, it's just turned into a dictatorship where the animals are working harder than they ever worked in the reign of humans on the farm and are getting less in return, while the pigs are just acting as if humans did and doing no work themselves at all. I'm going to take a little break and eat. Then I'm just going to finish the book and come back, talk about my final thoughts and how long it took me to read the book. It is now 4:30 p.m. and I have officially finished Animal Farm. So it took me 4.5 hours with having some breaks in between, of course. Although this is obviously a very short, fast read, it was still nice for me to finish a book in one day because I used to do that a lot, and so far, especially this year, I've been going through a lot of reading slumps, so this was really fun to just sit and throw myself into a book for a couple of hours. I gave the book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I see why the book is shown and given to high schoolers to read and learn about. I was hoping for a happier end for the animals, but it turns out life just doesn't happen that way a lot. Napoleon obviously became a dictator, even naming himself president, and literally just turned himself into a human. He even changed the farm back to the same name, the Manor Farm, that it was when the humans ran it, and it's basically the same cycle over and over again. At least it seems at the end that the animals finally do realize this when they could not distinguish between who was human and who was pig anymore. They kept tricking themselves into saying they weren't slaves, and although they were doing a lot of work and getting fed even less than when the humans had them, at least they were free, which we as readers know reading that they are just slaves again to a different person. I was most sad for Boxer, of course. He did everything. He worked day and night. He literally worked himself to death, and he just wanted to be able to retire and did not even get that. Justice for Boxer, that was awful. I was also really hoping we would get a Snowball appearance at the end. Maybe he would lead the animals into a rebellion, or at the very least we would know what happened with Snowball, but we never got that, which was also sad. The story would have been much different if Snowball had been the one to take leadership and not Napoleon. It is also important to note that even though Napoleon is the leader on this farm, he is still in fact a slave now to the humans once again, even though he thinks that he is now the same as them. I'm curious to know what would happen once Napoleon died, whether humans would just take care of the farm again, or Squealer and Napoleon's children would take over, I'm assuming. All in all, there's a lot of good lessons to be learned in this, both how we treat animals and how we treat each other, and how humanity, life, and our government work. And I think that was very cool to see from the perspective of animals, and especially that this was written again in the 40s, and it is still very relevant today. The quote or the final commandment at the end being all animals are equal except some are more equal than others was very funny yet powerful and sad, and I think that is a really interesting quote. I'm glad to have finally read this classic book. Thank you for coming along with me on my reading journey. Comment down below your favorite animal at Animal Farm and what lessons you took from the book, and I'll see you guys in the next video.